Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. Lando and I have been tracking the progress of the upcoming Remedy game FBC Firebreak, which I believe FBC stands for Federal Bureau of Control. And this is what is being described as a dad shooter. Not that I'm a father, but Lando is. But it's basically supposed to be a more casual take on the idea of a cooperative shooter or looter shooter. I'm not even clear if it is being defined as looter shooter, but the basic idea is the game is set within the Control universe, or I guess the Alan Wake universe, or whatever they're calling it now, and you play as one of a 3-person team of cleaners who are going into the oldest house, which is the setting for Control, and essentially tamping down some chaos being caused by the weirder elements that manifest within the house. And if you've never played Control and don't know what I'm talking about, you are missing out. It is one of the just most beautifully constructed games, and the actual universe it sets up is magnificent. So anyway, I've been kind of curious about this because Remedy is a developer I like. The Control game is one of my favorites. And I was really curious how this was going to go. And so now that we are only about a month out, there are previews by different game outlets. I'll link to several that I've been reading, and they are generally either positive or very positive towards it. But there is one thing I've noticed in their descriptions that I am somewhat concerned about. And honestly, it's not something specific to Firebreak. It is a larger thing that I have noticed about a lot of these games in general. And that is, I hope that Remedy has a plan to keep the environments and the challenges varied. From the descriptions I've read, it appears to be job-focused, where you go into an area and you have to accomplish a certain task. Generally, that task is accompanied very Left 4 Dead style by waves of enemies that will come at you. You have to acquire certain things in some cases, and then you have some kind of boss or final enemy, or just something you have to traverse to accomplish whatever that mission is. And then there are unique items and upgrades that are picked up along the way, the persistence of which I'm not really clear on, but it really doesn't matter. The core thing is, because Remedy is not a AAA developer, and I don't say that as a negative thing, I just say that as a matter of putting things into perspective. And so the oldest house is a nearly limitless canvas in which to place a game, because it does not have any real geometric or even metaphysical limitations to it. So I don't know if the plan is to constantly rotate out the jobs and have them changing all the time, kind of Team Fortress 2 style, where the different maps and different objectives would change. I really hope it is, because I think that's going to be key to this working. If the jobs are always the same and all that's really changing is the pickups along the way, or maybe some of the difficulty, I don't know that sustains a game of this type for very long. That has been the challenge. And it is the one argument for a live service approach, if it makes sense, which in this context it would. If there is one particular premise that feels suited to a live service idea, it is the Control's location of the oldest house, where there are so many variations and permutations of enemies and situations and scenarios that having them changing all the time, probably this game, I cannot think of another game quite as perfectly suited to that idea. Now, I haven't heard that phrase, live service, used in conjunction with this game. I don't really know what the plan is long term. But if it's just going to be the same, let's say 6 or 7 maps that all basically are the same challenge over and over, I just don't know how that sustains a game for very long when it's based around this idea of running these jobs and nothing else. As far as I know, there's no bigger story element. There are no single-player narratives. There's nothing else outside of this component that is kind of a spin-off from Control. And I don't think it's a bad idea. Again, I think the setting is perfect for something like this. But if it's not going to be constantly refreshed, which by definition would make it a live service game, I would think, I don't know that it is sustainable and will be successful. I really hope it is. The images I've seen, the gameplay write-ups, all this is very positive, and I am rooting for Remedy to be successful because I love Control so much, and I want to see that expand. I mean, there's a Control 2 coming. I want to see that developer have success. I just hope this game avoids the trap of becoming tedious, which I think a lot of these types of games very quickly can. That's just something that, if you don't handle it right, and a lot of them haven't, can be unavoidable. So I hope not, but it's my one and only concern. I guess we'll find out in a month. Later.